Hello everybody, it's Sarah and I am back, I guess. Let's see how long it takes until I'm gone again. But yeah, basically I didn't upload at all in March except like my rant review of 11th Cycle and also my February wrap up, because the past 3 or 4 weeks, I don't remember how long it was anymore, I just had a lot of work. I had to finish 2 papers for a course and uni started back up again and I was just completely burnt out. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm past that yet. So we'll see how regularly I will upload things in the next few weeks. But you'll at least get this video, and then also on Sunday you'll get my wrap up for March, because I did read quite a bit. But anyway, I am back somewhat. So today's video, since it is the last video of the month, obviously it's going to be the TBR for next month. As always, I have 6 books on my TBR. I have 5 fiction books, 1 non-fiction book. Usually I start with my non-fiction book. I will not start with my non-fiction book because that one is still Orientalism. I have not continued on in this book, so I'm tired of always saying what this is about. I mean, you can see I have somewhat started it, but yeah, it's Orientalism still. I still need to read it for my master's thesis. So let's just jump right into the fiction books, I guess. So I do not have any specific rereads planned this month, I believe. At least not for my TBR. There's some rereads if I find time that I do want to start. I still haven't started or continued on with my Song of Ice and Fire reread. But, you know, I don't have any rereads on the 5 books that I put on my specific TBR. So let's just get into it. Let's get this a bit closer. So, you know. First, I want to continue on in the Drowning Empire, the Drowning Empire series by Andrea Stewart, because the 3rd book is now coming out. I have had this since it was published, and I'm just seeing that it says science fiction on the back. This is not science fiction, this is fantasy. Anyway, I did not continue on with the series even though I have owned this since its publication, because first of all it took me quite a bit to get through this, and then when I finally wanted to get to it, we were told that the 3rd book was going to be pushed back for a year. So I thought I'd just wait until closer to release date to pick this book up, to pick up the Bone Shard Emperor. But now the 3rd book is coming out in May, if I remember correctly, so now is a good time for me to continue on with the series. I do not remember anything from the 1st book, but basically within this world you have this magic where the bone shards, that's where the name comes from, of people can be used to, you know, what's it called? I'm not remembering the word that I want to say right now, but they can be used to move so-called constructs, basically. And you follow multiple characters, but one of the main characters is the daughter of the Bone Shard Emperor. So the emperor of this place where bone shards are used to make constructs, and she is fighting for her inheritance, basically. And that is all I can remember from the 1st book. There were also 2 other characters that you follow. I don't remember their stories as well. However, I'm sure everything will come back once I get into the 2nd book. Then next I want to talk about the buddy read that we have for my book club in April. My book club, of course, is of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, and that book club is all about centering adult high fantasy books or adult fantasy books written by women and genderqueer folks. And every month, around the middle of the month, I upload a poll, and that poll is usually on Discord since the start of this year, and you all can then vote, or the people in the book club can then vote which book you want to buddy read in the next month. I will leave the link to the Discord down below if you're interested in joining us. And the book that was chosen for April is Daughters of Isdihar by, I forgot the author because I do not have my physical copy yet, although I was told today by my bookstore that it's on my way, so it should come tomorrow or on Monday the latest. And I don't remember at all what it was about. I remember that I put it on my most anticipated releases for 2023 list. I do not remember what it was about. I think it's set in Egypt or it's Egyptian inspired. I don't remember if it was historical fantasy or not. I remember it's queer, and that's pretty much as far as I go. So I'm excited to jump into it. Next, I have a book that arrived at the very beginning of March, and it was so hard for me not to just jump right into it, but I told myself that I would not read books by male authors. There's gonna be one exception in my wrap-up, but that I would not read books by male authors during Women's History Month. And so I stopped myself until April, which is now. And the book that I'm talking about is The Endless Song by Joshua Philip Johnson, which is the second book to not the Starless Sea, The Endless Sea, which I have somewhere up here, I think. And The Endless Sea was the first book that I read in 2023. I gave it 5 stars right away. I am really enjoying the world building and the characters in this series, so I just wanted to get the second book right away, which was published at the beginning of this year, so it was perfect. In this series you have this world where ships float across the so-called Endless Sea, which is basically this massive grass sea that no one knows what's at the bottom of the sea, and the ships float above that sea with something called heartfire or hearthfire. One or the other, I don't remember exactly. And then you also have so-called keepers, who are the ones that keep the hearthfire or heartfire going. And our main character is one such a keeper. Her grandma is one of the most famous keepers out there. However, after our main character comes back home after being on a journey with one of the ships flying the Endless Sea, she comes back to find out that her grandmother walked into the sea, into the bottom of the sea. And so she just really wants to find out what happened to her grandmother. I am so excited to continue on with the series. I cannot wait. And yeah, hopefully I'll enjoy it as much as the first book. Before I pull a book from my series TBR chart for my last book, the 4th fiction book that I want to read in April is The Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee, which is her novella, science fiction novella. I think it might be her science fiction debut. I'm not quite sure. And I got an ARC for it. It's gonna be published on April 11th, and I cannot wait for it. I am so excited because obviously I really enjoyed the Greenbone saga. I also don't know what this one is about, so can't help you there. Can't say anything. Also, I love the cover of this one. So the last thing we have to do is obviously pull from my series TBR chart. For those of you who are new, my series TBR chart is a TBR chart where I have the names of all the unfinished series that are currently on my shelves or that I have started and still want to finish. And every month I pull from this TBR chart and then I read the next book in that series. So let's see what we have for April. So I have the book right here, and if I can get it open now, I have The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir. So the question is now, I have started Terror the Ninth because I also pulled the series for my January TBR, I believe. However, it took until literally last week for my hold from the library to come in. So the question is now, do I count my read of Harrow the Ninth as continuing on the series, or do I now have to continue on with Nona the Ninth right away as well? Tell me in the comments down below. I will kind of let you vote in the comments what I should do, although it will also depend whether or not I can actually get Nona the Ninth from my library, because to be honest, I just didn't enjoy Gideon the Ninth enough for me to buy the rest of the books. Also, Nona is still a hardcover, so I also don't want to buy that. And it's currently like 20 euros, I think, for me, so that would be annoying. Anyway, that was it for my April TBR. Tell me in the comments down below if you have read any of the books and what were your thoughts on them. As always, if any of you are interested in buddy reading, just tell me in the comments or write me on Twitter or whatever. And I am always up for a buddy read. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media, as well as to all the links, but mainly the Discord of my book club, will be linked down below. So go and check them out. And I hope I'll see you very soon. Bye.